2.4% of 401ks are actually seven-figure millionaires within those 401ks. Now, this is based off just Fidelity. Fidelity has about 24.6 million participants out of 70 million that we have. So 35%, so let's keep it simple. About 1/3 of all 401ks are within Fidelity. They got 24.6 million, 595,000 are clients, 2.4%, that have seven figures within those 401ks. Now, why is this huge? Because we all heard growing up you need to have seven figures for retirement. Because it's not using the money, it's using the interest. Wealthy people don't live off their money, they live off the interest their money makes. So $1 million at a conservative 6% will be $60,000 a year, $5,000 a month. Take care of your bills and expenses for retirement, you're good to go. I've been licensed for the last decade. On average, it's about $188,000 for most people. So a lot of folks do not have that kind of accumulation inside their 401k plan. So if we go off those numbers, only 2% of people, 2.4% if you want to be precise, and I'm going to put all those statistics and everything underneath in the description, in the caption. But look, if 2.4% have that, so that means only about 2.4% could live easily for retirement off their 401ks, meaning about 97% of folks may not have that luxury. Obviously, some people have 400k, 500k, 700k, good amounts, good qualities. But this is actually showing why this is important is because 401ks were never designed to be a retirement, folks. Understand this. 401k is not a retirement plan. It's a tax code, the IRC 401k. Quick fun fact, I always tell people anything with 3 letters or 3 numbers most likely is a tax code. The question is, are you the one getting a discount? Always remember that. But if 401k was a tax code, okay, used to help businesses lower their taxes, it's a tax deduction for the business. It's not a plan for the employees. Granted, we do have access. It's a defined contribution, so you can put money in it. They will match you a little bit more tax breaks on the back end. But it was never designed to be a sole purpose. Even the creator of 401ks, Ted Pena, he himself said he created a monster. It wasn't designed to be that. It technically was designed to cover your CEO's butt. Why do I say that? Because when pensions first came out, right? When pensions first came out, listen to this. Same thing with Social Security, by the way. Life expectancy was only 61 years old. Retirement was 65. Life expectancy was 61. So most people never accessed their pension. And if they did, 2, 3, 4 years, they pass away. The business is not worried about it. Then ultimately they said, whoa, wait a minute. Now fast forward to 2020, 2025, we're living at 85, 90 years old. So you went from barely anybody needing their pensions to pretty much back in the 80s and 90s, everybody needing it for multiple years, 10, 15, 20 years. So the companies needed to find a way to get themselves from defined benefit where they're paying for everything to where it now becomes pretty much an asset for them having another strategy in place out there. That's where 401ks came into play. So they could eliminate that, right? They could eliminate having to worry about paying everyone for 10, 15, 20 years. Then they looked at it and said, this is a great way we could actually use it as a tax deduction, as part of our taxation for our company. 2 of the biggest tax breaks for companies are 401ks and health insurance. That having the benefits of health insurance is whatever you're paying, they're writing off 4 or 5x on the back end. So remember that. So why am I saying all this? Ultimately speaking, you need to look for another strategy for retirement to complement that. I'm not saying to get rid of your 401k. Have multiple streams. Get an IRA. Get your mutual funds. Get your ETFs. Get into your real estate. Get your bonds. Get your annuities. Get whatever you want. High yield savings accounts, HSAs. There are tons and tons of strategies out there, but you need to have multiple strategies. If you're focusing on 401k and Social Security, those 2 things to carry you through retirement, it ain't gonna happen. I could say this, I've been licensed for the last decade. I generally sit down with 20 to 25 clients a week. First thing I go through is a budget. But when I get to those who are older in retirement, when you look at it, the average is about $1,300 for Social Security. That's not enough. I don't care where you live. $1,300. Once you get down to your apartment, if you're looking for an apartment and bills, that $1,300 is not doing anything. 401k, if you want to average it out, it's not going to be that much more. So you need to create your own supplemental income sources. You know, what I love doing, what I'm licensed for, I could do a lot from rollovers. You have a 401k. Once you leave that career, let's roll it over into another strategy. That way, if you want your Roth IRAs, your annuities, different things of that nature, where you could still have your money growing and compounding, but now you could get that tax advantage or that tax-free kind of growth. That's huge. And then understand there's a difference between a rollover and a rollout. You have a rollover or a strategic rollout. A rollover is you take a lump sum. I got $200,000 in my 401k. I'm going to roll the whole thing into a Roth IRA. I'm going to roll the whole thing into a fixed index annuity or any annuity strategy. Let it grow, let it accumulate. Then you have your strategic rollouts. Hey, it's called Internal Revenue Code 72T. And the different ways you could structure it, you know, it's the pros, there's cons. I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad. Different ways you could structure it. But your 72T and other strategic rollouts say, hey, you got 200,000, we'll let you take out X amount every year. I just keep it simple. You have 200,000, we'll let you take out 10%. So 20,000, we'll let you do that over X amount of years. That way, every year you have a smaller taxation you're paying instead of a large lump sum from doing a huge rollover, things of that nature. So ultimately, there's different goals, different things. But when we're looking at it, only 2.4% of people have 7 figures in that 401k because they've probably been maxing it out. They played catch up as they were older. You know, they have different kind of strategies. You know, I always say when in doubt, zoom out, look over a long period of time. Some of these strategies are very good. If you have a good company, good matching, it's not bad. But you have to understand you need to have your own plan, not a government plan. Okay, 401k is a government pretty much sponsored through your job. Boom. Social Security, something sponsored, so you're going to get it through a government. Great strategies. You need to have something on your own. A financial strategy in place that you're contributing, not that the government, when I say with a government plan, they're not forcing it on you, but you know, the government's set up your 401ks, 403bs, all that kind of stuff, Social Security. Your Roth IRA is doing that on your own. Real estate's doing it on your own. Cash value insurances, that's something that you're doing on your own. Mutual funds, all that stuff, you're doing it on your own. Have something that you could strategically have in place where you could slow and steady start to contribute, where you could use it. Now, last but not least is you want to have your money in different buckets. We always say there's 3 buckets. You have your fixed accounts, your variable accounts, okay, and your index accounts. Fixed, you know what it is. Your bank account, checking savings. You're not going to lose money. It's a fixed rate. You're getting so much. You could get certain things that may have 2, 3, 4%. Who knows? You have your variable accounts. I call those your roller coaster accounts. The market goes up 20%, your money goes up 20%. The market drops 20%, your money is going to drop. Then you have your index accounts. You have indexing on your stocks, indexing insurances, indexing annuities. Some of these strategies give you a blend of both, especially when it comes to insurances, annuities, and things of that nature. Meaning you have a floor and a cap. The market goes up, say 20%. The company may have a 13% cap. That's all you could get. But then you have a floor of 0. 0 is your hero. So you need to understand your fixed accounts, your variable accounts, your index accounts. Blend those together. Get some stuff on your own, all at the same time while you're still contributing to your Social Security. You're still contributing to your 401k. All those things that you have working for you. So with that being said, folks, not saying it's a bad strategy having your 401k, but looking to having multiple streams of income, multiple strategies, because it's going to help you out in the long run. Only 2.4% of people have 7 figures in there. 90% of people, if they have something bad to say right now, they don't have that. Do your research, find out the best strategy for you. If you want some help, reach out to me. We can schedule a consultation, and I'll see you on the next one.